the negative made the claim that yes, there are a few benefits to be made by staying in Iraq, but in all actuality that there's no harm truly in moving out, and that the rest of the forces staying there will be enough to keep it stable. The stability that has been caused, Kyle mentioned that supports his point that they're stable enough to stay on their own. The only thing you can give that accounted to is the U.S. presence. You can't assume that slowly pulling out the U.S. presence, there will be a stability high or strong enough to keep it, keep the Iraqis self-sustaining and not needing the U.S. presence. Why not just keep our troops there a couple more years until Iraq is completely stable and then clearly doesn't need help when there is no debate on whether we need to stay or not, so that way we don't risk Iraq falling again and then having us completely lose all of our efforts and having there be no point in us ever going there again. Veronica also mentioned that the United States is not really responsible for Iraq. Well, in all actuality, we are responsible for Iraq. We are there, and we made ourselves a part of the situation, and because of that, we're responsible. Now, I'm not saying it's Obama's fault that he has to deal with this and that we have all these debates on whether the U.S. should stay there or not, and the fact that we're losing men, we're losing resources, but the fact of the matter is, it is our problem because we are there, and to just pull out of Iraq and remove our forces is really just running from our responsibilities. We need to take care of something that we started. She also mentioned that many of Iraq's officials state that they believe that they are stable enough to not need America's help and that they support America leaving their country. Well, of course Iraqi officials believe that their nation is stable enough. I don't think there's any leader who wants to say, you know what, my country is terrible and it can't survive on its own. I think interviewing someone on the Iraqi official side and then using their point as concrete evidence isn't acceptable. He is biased and he wants his country to be stable, and his point of view will be distorted whether he wants to admit it or not. The negative also says that we're wasting lives and resources, but once again I'd like to bring up we're spending $1.5 billion every 2 weeks in Afghan, which is about $36 million a year. And we're going to put more troops, and we're going to train more troops of their people, and that's just going to spend like exponentially more money in Afghan. So saying that we're losing resources and men in Iraq, yes, we are losing resources and men in Iraq, but we're just going to reallocate those people to Afghan, and we're going to continue to lose men, and we're going to continue to lose resources. So we should at least just finish what we started in Iraq and wait till Iraq is completely stable and not have there be any risk of them falling back to where they were. And the amount of lives that we've lost, almost over 4,000, nearly 5,000. Yes, it's a very sad statistic, and yes, I agree that we should try to avoid as many deaths as possible. But if we were to leave Iraq and we don't know the future, in the case that Iraq falls back the way it was, all those deaths are in vain. Everything they fought for has just been completely lost, and there was, in actuality, no point in them fighting for the U.S. in causing Iraq to be more stable. We should support those people who died for our country, who died fighting for them, and continue to make Iraq more stable. And that's it.